Born this way sounds like an apology. You were born all sorts of ways, and for how many of those ways does society demand an explanation? Born this way is the answer to the unasked question of why aren't you straight? Why aren't you straight is just code for why aren't you normal? Why does it matter if you were born this way, socialized this way, choose to be this way, or met somebody who made you feel this way, unless someone is demanding an explanation for a negative? From a scientific point of view, I guess I get why people would want to know. But at the same time, who gives a shit about nature versus nurture if the sole purpose of the answer is to validate, excuse, and explain away my existence? Born this way boxes us in. There's no room for fluidity or exceptions, no room to love anyone you were born to fall in love with. And I admit that the fact that heterosexual relationships can have had, a place in my sexuality gives me an advantage in this homophobic society over those for whom heterosexual relationships are unlikely to impossible. But I'm fucking sick of accept us because queerness isn't a choice. After all, who would choose to be queer? Contrary to popular belief, many queer people actually enjoy their sexuality. Most of us would not, in fact, wish to be straight if we could. What we wish for would be to live in a society that doesn't search for an answer to why we love the way we love, because it wouldn't question our love in the first place.
I had a teacher just assume that I was going to be dating a boy once. Like, I was singing this song, and he's like, you know, and da-da-da-da-da story, and you should bring your boyfriend to this, and da-da-da-da-da, and it's just kind of like, okay, all right, great, I'll go along with that, because how do you, like, awkwardly stop you and say, yeah, I'm not straight, may or may not have a boyfriend, like, because it's kind of inappropriate, and you feel like you can't, then that shuts off, like, an area of communication with somebody who's supposed to be, like, a safety net for you. And there aren't enough teachers that even, like, know about LGBT issues, and it's like, you have a class full of gay people, and you're sitting here going, or full of people, and you don't know who's trans, you don't know trans exists, you don't know, like, that some of your students might not identify with ladies or gentlemen, and here you are, talking to me. And it's just like, are you making informed decisions or not? Like, because if you don't know, you can't make an informed decision. Like, it's a part of educating and being educated.
It's like, sorry. It's like also like when you try to correct a teacher, especially about your sexuality or your gender identity, then it's like they think that you're the one making a big deal out of it. Because otherwise, if you just let it slide, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like if you get misgendered, which I've done, have had that happen many, many times by teachers.
In class.
In class, or like, you know, it depends what setting it is, but, you know, you always want to come up to them and be like, actually, I'm not a girl. Like, you know, I don't go by female pronouns. And then, you know, but it's like, is it, they, like, are they going to think that I'm, like, trying to make a big deal out of it, or it's like...
Sinners in love, a flame in the dark, so bright it burns those who say no. Hide you away, the love that they want, and sleep for tonight in one bed. Dance in the dark, guy who's a girl who likes leather and chains. She found her eyes, their hearts sparked that night, and everyone else dropped away. Freak 1 and Freak 2 parade down the street, grotesque to the eyes in the dark. No pride allowed. Get out of this place. We don't want your kind round here. Now all those people who grope in the dark can't handle two freaks so in love. They whisper and gossip, acid and malice, ignoring the holes in their hearts. The words from the dark, howling and cruel, send the freaks back to their home. The eyes with such hate, alone without light, are blind to the love that they shun. At home in the dark, the freaks' dim embrace protects the light in their hearts. This love is ours, no truer than theirs, but given an altar to shine. Sinners in love, a flame in the dark, so bright it burns those who say no. Hide you away, the love that they want, and sleep for tonight in one bed.
I think, like, they try to make it seem like they're trying to, like, make everyone else, like, more accepting with things like the ILC campaign, but I don't really think it's that effective because people are just saying, like, oh, don't use these words, but they're not really getting educated and they don't really understand. Like, we do have, like, the Rainbow Turk thing, but, like, people aren't really going to do that unless they're, like, part of the community or they're allies or they're going to be involved with, like, other people in the community. So I feel like we're trying, but I don't know how well it's working.
What? That doesn't exist. So you mean you're gay?
You're just confused.
How do you know?
You just haven't found the right person yet.
It's just a phase.
That's unnatural.
You don't fit in here.
See how you'll identify in 5 years.
Your relationships don't mean anything.
We are misrepresented.
We
feel invisible.